Happy Monday morning, everybody, and welcome to video 1. This video is going basically to cover the new shows that Harry and Meghan are putting out. We're going to start with Meghan's stuff and then go to Harry's stuff because they've already started taping. You don't want to miss this. Let's go. An announcement was put out by Meghan and Harry about 2 new Netflix series productions or shows that they're working on. Now, I find this kind of odd. First of all, it was not on their Archwell site. It wasn't under anything. Instead, it was on their Sussex Royal site, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Number 2, I just happened to notice Netflix did not announce this. It was strictly Harry and Meghan. Netflix hasn't said a word about any of this production. The very first series, which is being produced, executive producer is Meghan, is going to, and I'm quoting, celebrate the joys of cooking, gardening, entertainment, and friendship with Selena and chefs Leah Hartington working as showrunner. And basically what she's going to be doing is what I've already told you in previous videos. She's turning Netflix into QVC. She's going to be cooking on there, but the stuff that she's going to be using on the show is going to be stuff that she's selling with ARO, American Riviera Orchard. So she's going to be flogging her wares on Netflix. Hopefully you'll then go to the ARO website and buy her goods. The key words in this that get me are in the early stages of production. Because remember, Pearl was in the early stages of production when it got canned. So Vera Lohan even put out a tweet. Yeah, they're in early production. They don't have names and save this post for next year. Because remember what happened to Pearl. I myself went on Twitter and said that I think this is a power play. I think they have 1 year left on the contract and they're trying to force Netflix into producing this by announcing it. That's what I think they're doing, personally. They're claiming that Meghan has a well-documented love of cooking because she once brined a turkey on the TIG, and they're saying she collaborated with the Community Hub Kitchen on the cookbook, but actually all she did was write the foreword, the front of the book. The book was actually commissioned by the Royal Foundation, which was Catherine and William as well, but Meghan takes full credit for the cookbook, as usual. So I find the way that this was put up on the Sussex Royal site, I find this to be very suspect. Now, it does say that there's going to be 2 shows. Now, here's the other one, if you guys are ready. It's saying, quote, that the other series will provide viewers unprecedented access to the world of professional polo. In other words, the way I'm looking at it, Harry and Meghan had originally said when they started this production company, in case you guys remember, that they were going to put out content that was informs and gives hope, and as new parents, it was going to be inspirational, and they put out all this stuff, and then they didn't come up with anything. I completely agree with Unlikely Bot. They said powerful storytelling, truthful and relatable, and look what we're getting. We're getting elitist polo and cooking. Exactly. It says, and I'm quoting, known primarily for its aesthetic and social scene, this series will pull the curtain back on the grit and passion of the sport, capturing players and all it takes to compete at the highest level. They're both executive producers on that project, and it's going to be taped at the U.S. Open Polo Championship in Florida. All right. Everyone should know that the polo production is being produced by Boardwalk Pictures, who have been behind several other Netflix products. So here you have one of the most entitled white men on the planet, a very rich multi-millionaire prince who's going to talk about polo. I literally feel like they're scrambling to get something in the hopper in early production, which basically means it's just an idea they're kicking around because their contract is going to come to an end soon and they've got to do something. So this is what Harry has come up with. And of course, then you have, we've already discussed Meghan's idea for Netflix. I wonder if Harry is going to discuss his treatment of polo ponies. So all of this shows me that they are scraping the bottom of the barrel for ideas. It's true that a lot of polo ponies are well taken care of, but in Harry's case, we know that this particular pony that you're seeing him riding right now, He dug into the side of this animal with his spurs so hard that he punctured the poor animal's skin and the animal was bleeding. I mean, I don't understand why you would want to do that to an animal. How about his polo pony Drizzle? He apparently loved this pony. He rode the pony, and then the pony promptly had a heart attack and died after a very strenuous polo match. The second that Harry and Meghan made this announcement, the general consensus was, oh no, not again, here we go. People just could not get over the fact that Harry's idea was to go around showing people, uber rich people, playing a game where you ride horses really hard. Who's going to be interested in that? That's nothing that interests me. So they get to Florida, and all of a sudden they show up for a charity polo match, and there's Meghan. So I remember thinking she didn't go with him to his discussion on Simpsonville. She wasn't there for the better up. Why did she suddenly show up? Well, that's simple. Because Netflix is going to start taping Saturday and Sunday, 13th and the 14th of April, and also this match that Harry is playing against his little best buddy Nacho, they're also taping here. So this is perfect for Meghan because all she has to do is show up in some designer clothes, walk around, and look happy. It's right up her alley. She's walking with one of Nacho's kids. Notice her children are once again missing. Let's be honest, there's no way she's going to let Harry anywhere near what she's doing, but she's absolutely going to muscle in on what Harry's doing. She's going to make sure that in his show, there are pictures of her attending. And just as an FYI, you should know it was reported in the Daily Mail that only media that they personally approved were allowed access to the event, kind of like the people that they didn't allow access in New York. Remember that? Worst part about all of this is something that came out in a report by Neil Sean. According to Neil Sean, Harry intends to use footage of Charles and William and interviews of Charles and William in the Netflix docuseries in an attempt to get it, through to the public without it being panned, because after all, William will be in it. I doubt he got their permission for that. What that tells me and shows me is that Harry is incapable of doing anything separate from the royal family. He must use his connection to the royal family to make this show a go. If he doesn't put them in, it's not going to go anywhere. It still may not go anywhere. And of course, you have to get copyright approval to use the footage. Could you imagine if he doesn't get approval or he uses it without approval? Yeah, lawsuit hell is what I see. A big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us everything Meghan was wearing. The dress, by the way, is made of silk and hemp. That's right, cannabis, in a nod to her husband, of course. And her entire outfit, shoes, dress, purse, sunglasses, not including jewelry, is over $4,000. So, the purse alone was over $2,000. So once again, ridiculous amounts of money. And inappropriate as well. Look at the high heels on the grass. She should be wearing wedges, and her pants are completely see-through. For some reason, she seems to think her shoulders are sexy and she wants to show them at all times. This is just, well, of course she's dressed like that. She's going to be in Harry's show. Now, Harry headed off to play polo, and Meghan stuck as close to him as humanly possible. She was absolutely going to have to stay close so that she could make sure that they taped her. As you can clearly see here, they were following her and Harry around with the camera and the sound boom again. I have to tell you, this makes me think the show will be more about Meghan than polo. So Harry's team gets a trophy. That doesn't mean that he won, because I keep remembering what happened at the last polo match. So, of course, the whole team stands around while Meghan shows up, hands the trophy to Harry, and everybody else just has to stand around and wait while she gives him a smooch for the cameras. And it is then and only then that the rest of the team is allowed to touch the trophy after all the obligatory pictures are taken. So staged. So when it was all over, she starts leading Harry off the stage like a 3-year-old, of course. And thank you to Royal News Network for this photo. And I couldn't help but notice this huge gap in the front of her outfit. Like, what is that? And then I started thinking, what is that hanging down the front of her outfit? And why is she not wearing a bra? Because it's pretty obvious she's not. How inappropriate can you get? I mean, I guess all in all, it didn't go so badly. I mean, it certainly went better than the last time she tried to help them with a trophy. Who can forget this debacle? I mean, at least this time she didn't wear a hat and she didn't have them hold the trophy over her head, blocking her from, the shot. No, I received an email and then spoke with one of my subscribers, one of my followers, who's part of the polo world. Like, she's really part of the polo world. She's in Canada. I'm not going to give her name because she asked me not to. And let me tell you what she had to say. She said people who really play polo respect their horses, they take care of their equipment, and they take great care of their animals. They love their animals. And she said the polo world is ill over the fact that they don't think that Harry respects the horses. They don't want Meghan's name anywhere near the sport of polo. Now, another issue with this thing, according to Neil Sean, with this docuseries he's doing, is that the uber elite don't want to be fodder for a Netflix series. Neil Sean pointed out that people there are there because they love polo, they're wealthy, they don't need the money, and Harry is just the curator, he's not the organizer. So they're wondering, or Neil Sean is wondering, how they're going to get around all of that to tape. I think this will be very interesting. Now, to end this video, just a few more little bits of information. First of all, Serena Williams was there. I found that kind of shocking. We haven't seen or heard from her in a long time. And number two, Meghan needs to lay off the Ozempic. Look at the extra skin on her thumb there. Oh my goodness. And if you look at her face, look how tight her cheeks are, and then it gets wrinkly towards the back. That, I believe, is Ozempic face mixed with Botox injections. You see that? Yeah, she needs to cut that out. To end this, Harry's got three things in his life. Number one, he was a prince. Well, they did the Netflix docuseries on that. Number two, he was a soldier. He did the Invictus docuseries on that. And number three, he knows how to play polo, which this is not an original idea. There's lots of shows about how to play polo. After this, there's nothing left. That's my opinion. I take that back. Due to his drug use, maybe they'll do an intervention. But after that, there's absolutely nothing left. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button and follow me over to video 2. And don't forget those comments because my goodness, I am so looking forward to them on this one. All right, I'll see you guys in video 2. Let's go.